speaking of do-do-do-do-do's, I think that is the finest of the MIDI, like, Casio keyboard sounds, is jazz do. Do-do, do-da, do-da, do-da. You know the one I'm talking about.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
The Scatman patch.
The Scatman patch. And here's the thing about Scatman. That is a personal favorite gag of the Every F and FF podcast, of which we are recording right now. I'm Curtis.
I'm Carl.
And I'm Alex. And with us we have like 5-time repeat guest Darmock.
Hi.
The podcast champion.
The guest who just won't quit.
I'm just in it for the long haul.
She got thrown overboard and eaten by Leviathan, but she's back.
Yeah, I'm back. More powerful than ever.
I feel like at this point it's more fitting to just call you returning host.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah, fourth host, yeah.
Yeah, like a TA.
When I
Darmock rolls in the giant CRT on the like wheeled structure thing.
I don't feel like
wheeled
podcasting
shelf.
today, so we're watching a movie.
Yo, guys, I heard you want to play some Genesis games.
Yes. Hell yeah.
that's great. Well, what are we doing this week?
Well, we just got a Hot Rock.
We did just get a Hot Rock, which I checked today in the Naming Way edition, the Super Nintendo one. It is the Magma Key, and I thought that maybe I was crazy. I was like, yeah, why would it be a key? That makes no sense. And then I went back and played it, and I was like, no, it is the key in this game. So it was just like a hot key.
I feel like the naming here, like everything in this game, is very like non-standardized because I think in some versions of it, like I think the canonical one, I guess, like since they've redone it so many times, is that it's just called Magma. But yeah, I think it was Magma Stone in mine.
In the DS, it is Magma. Yeah, just Magma Stone.
Have any of you played the Pixel remaster yet?
No.
I have not.
I did start it. I started the Pixel remaster, and the thing about the Pixel remasters is I like them enough that I'm willing to start calling them the canonical versions of this game.
Nice.
So I was like, what if I just also played that one? What if I did 3 versions of this game at once? I played the Naming Way edition, the DS edition, and then also do the the Pixel remaster, and I just like talk about all 3 of them every single podcast.
That'd be pretty sick.
I was thinking about trying to catch up on that one, but
it's really good. It's really good.
Mostly for the music is the main reason I want in on it.
Yo, it is, and I don't mean this in a lewd and sexual fashion, but it is horny. It is incredibly horny.
Damn, right?
There are horns everywhere.
The music, I see.
The music, yeah.
So it's ska.
There are, in FF1, the way they do the airship music is ska. It has the upstroke guitar and everything. It's incredible.
Yo, hell yeah.
I was like, weird choice, but I'm in. Let's go.
Awesome. Darmock, what's your experience with Final Fantasy IV?
This is my first time playing.
Really?
Hell yeah.
So you might as well be me, I guess.
What do you think about it thus far?
Well, I'm playing the one that was on DS before. I kind of like it.
3D one?
Yeah, the 3D
DS version's hard.
It is hard. I got really stuck on this one part that I think we'll talk about later, but yeah.
Yeah, the part we're getting ready to talk about today is what walled me as a kid. When I was younger, I couldn't do this part. This is like, so I told you all before that this is like the first RPG that I played that I got really into. When I was younger, this is the end of my adventure in FF4. This is why I could not get past this.
Damn.
This is the Seymour Flux or whatever.
Yeah.
Of the game where people like, I just never got past Mount Gagazet or whatever.
Yep, that's today. So we have our airship, and we're going around looking for what to do with this magma key, right? And I want to say real quick, I think we're gonna save this for another episode to talk about more in depth, right? But since you can go pretty much anywhere, I usually take this time to do a little side quest to go somewhere where we don't have to go. You don't have to. I think we'll talk about it more in depth later because it probably matches with like some plot that happens a little bit later. But you never have to go to this location. But there's a castle by itself in the southwest corner of the map called Eblin Castle. If you're playing and you want some extra goodies, now's a decent time to do it. The enemies that are in there are like several monsters in a box. They're pretty tough at this point. They could KO you if you're not prepared. But you can get like a better lance for Kane in there. You can get some better weapons and armor and stuff. So I went ahead and did that in each version before I went to the underground.
I think I did that too, just when I was like cruising around and trying to find out where I'm going, even though I previously had done that and like didn't go to that castle. But when I was looking for, where to go last time, I think I ended up where we need to go, got all the dialogue there to where they're basically like, hey, it'd be really cool if you threw something into this like place. Like there's something very obvious here. And we're also going to talk about like the other side of the world, like kind of cryptically and stuff. And I was just like, I should remember this, and then I completely forgot it. But I did go to that castle.
So the place you're talking about, there's an island in kind of the south central, I guess, of the map. How would you describe it? South central?
Yeah, you cannot be a menace there while drinking your juice, perhaps.
Juice in the hood, indeed. God, what a fine movie. Anyway,
that movie rules.
It's like the Staten Island.
It's the Staten Island of FF4.
The five boroughs of
Agart? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Agart, Agart.
Outsiders call it Agart, but the commoners probably call it Eggert.
Agart.
It's like going over to Banger.
Yeah.
Worcester.
And once we're there, there's like a lot of really good NPC dialogue in this town that I really like. There's some cool things going on. The very first thing I did, like the very first house on the left, is like an observatory.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yeah, I love space.
I love space. Space great. Real big though. Real scary sometimes.
The final frontier, some might call it.
I've never heard that. What is that? Is that from something?
It's just a rare thing. You wouldn't have heard of it.
What would Darmock know about the final frontier?
I don't know. I'm not an expert or anything on these topics.
When you first get here, there's a woman who's I kind of fear it's just turning to me sometimes, which she says, once my husband starts gazing through that telescope of his, he often forgets to even feed himself.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get in the zone.
And then you neglect your bodily functions.
Somebody else in that house says, this is the only telescope in the world. And I was like, so wow. It's a giant telescope too. It's huge. It's like an observatory telescope. And I like the idea that like there was never like it never scaled up to that version. They figured out the science of telescopes with that telescope at that size. Like no one's ever built a smaller telescope than that one.
Yeah, it's like if like calculators and shit were still the size of a room. They're like, this is the computer. You can use it to compute.
Now here's my kind of theory is that because this is like such an isolated island, it's kind of like during the war efforts, the rest of the world just melted down all the other telescopes.
Where it's tight as fuck.
They melted down all the other telescopes, and they forgot about this one little island, and it's the only one left.
Baron has this thing against convex glass. They do not like it. Like lenses, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's the dark magic. That's
Machina, baby.
It's why
it is Machina.
There was a big voyeur problem. In there. They decided to outlaw telescopes.
Did y'all look through the telescope?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Before you look through the telescope, that guy says like, "Oh, I've been studying the red moon," and if you look through it, he's not even pointing it at the red moon. Like he's not doing a good job of studying the red moon.
I wonder if that's like just another translation thing or just because I'm pretty sure in mine he said something to the effect of like, I've been studying the two moons.
Oh, that's right. He does say the two moons. You're right.
One of them, like there's some interesting activity on one of them and it's starting to turn red. And I'm like, damn. Yeah. It's probably nothing we have to worry about.
I think mine said something like that too.
Damn, what is this, FF8?
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I right specifically,
folks?
Carl?
I would like if he was just a big gag where like, he talks about, I'm studying these two moons, and there's just a photo of his butt at the end of the telescope.
You look into the telescope, but like when you pull your eye away, you just have a big like black ring around your eye.
Right, like we have the only telescope, and we just use it to moon people.
Yeah, the two moons. Yeah. It's good shit. It's good shit in this town.
Before we continue on about that though, I did want to briefly just talk about like where, like we already talked about kind of its like location in terms of like north, south, east, west, whatever. But this island itself is like pretty small, and it has a couple forests on it, but nothing really like major. And there's like a small little mountain range as well. That's like right, like the town is at the foot of this mountain, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I feel like it's worth mentioning.
Big rocket town energy.
Yeah, the mountain range is definitely like the main feature of this island.
Right, exactly. That's in the center, and then the town is just slightly at the foot of that mountain.
Yeah, and the people in this town say they are descendants of a dwarven race.
Yeah, I like one of them.
Someone looks like it, supposedly, too. They're shorter or something.
Yeah, one NPC literally says like, "Oh, I'm descended from dwarves. That's why I'm so short. I wish I was descended from ogres." And I was like, "Yo, me and you both, buddy."
Oh, to be
Can
a Shrek.
also relate.
Yeah, I was like, we're just gonna have to make do with being a short king, I suppose.
That's like when I was in grade school, I was like on the shorter side of my class and kind of got bullied for it and stuff. And I was very self-conscious about that until I watched Yu Yu Hakusho and they introduced the character Hiei. And I'm like, yo, this dude's short as hell, but he's cool as shit. I want to be like Hiei. Be the Hiei you want to see in the world is what I'm saying.
We're bringing it back. Oh, I wonder, were there any like Yu Yu Hakusho RPG games back in the day? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I feel like there had to be, but that's neither here nor there. My apologies.
If not, there was like a Legacy of Goku type game for it.
Wasn't? Yeah. So there's some like tall grass in this town that you can grab treasure chests from, and like we were saying, a lot of the word around town is that everybody's talking about how they're descended from the dwarves, right? Or like, how did our ancestors get here? I wonder. I don't know. Someone literally says like, "Oh, I wonder what's underneath the mountain." And you're like, okay, I get it. Like, we're looking for the underworld. I see. This is where I'm supposed to be at.
Some of them are a little more like, poetic. And like, there's a proverb in our village. It tells us that all the things we see have a darker inverse, which we do not, even the world itself.
There's also, remember when Corey was on and he was talking about like the whole mirror thing being like the main theme of this game? There's like the two mirrored sides of the world. The crystals, the dark crystals are mirrored. Cecil's a dark knight and a paladin. I was like, it does kind of follow through, doesn't it?
It really does.
There's a cute little girl who says, "I'm really strong. My grandpa's great-great-grandpa was even stronger."
Yeah.
That's such a little kid thing to say. I love it.
But none of the people between those two were stronger than her, though. She's like, my dad was not stronger than me, nor was his father, nor his father, nor his father, nor his father. But his father was. If you go to the inn, there's a little girl there who says, "Oh, my grandma here is like the oldest person in town, and she knows like everything about like where we came from or whatever." And you're like, "Oh, that's the person to talk to." And then the old lady really has nothing to say. And I was like, oh.
Did you bump into this friend? This friend of ours?
Okay, let me tell you, I did not bump into this friend of ours. And if you don't bump into this friend of ours here, he does not appear in the next location, which you cannot escape from. So I have screwed this quest line up permanently now.
Damn.
So I'm pretty much relying on you.
Too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Have you kept up with him till now, Darmock?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
As a recap, we knew Naming Way. Did you rename any of your characters, Darmock?
No, actually I didn't.
So we had Naming Way, who became Mapping Way, who became Living Way, who became Recording Way, who became Camping Way, who became Jamming Way, which I think was his peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Then he started sinning.
And then and then at Troya, we found out he was Cheating Way because we did that little Three's Company thing. So now he's at a house here. I don't know if do you know about this one, Curtis?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm learning all this. Yeah.
So in the there's a house in the center of town behind the well, and there's a Cheating Way in the doorway. He says, "Oh, greetings and salutations, Cecil. We meet again. I'm really quite ashamed of that whole incident last time. You'll be glad to hear I've cleaned up my act. Now I'm gathering pudding for my new girlfriend. She adores the stuff."
Damn, is that how you do it? I'm taking notes right now.
"Now that I've changed my ways, it's only proper that I change my name. Cheating Way became Pudding Way the Knave."
Pudding Way the what?
Knave.
Oh, that's so good.
Way the knave. God, what, you know what?
Wow.
Opinion turned around 180 degrees on naming way. Am a fan again.
So
I still haven't forgiven him for that tent stealing.
Oh, the
escapade,
tent
so-
stealing. Did he get you? Did he get you with it?
Yeah.
He got me with it. I was so
That's why I say
fucking pissed.
don't talk to him until you're done with ordeals.
Yeah.
don't even talk to me until I've had my tents.
Don't talk to me until I become paladin.
But he asks us of another favor, which he says, for one reason or another, though, I simply cannot seem to get my hands on any rainbow pudding. Please, is there any
He
chance
just wants pudding.
Oh my
Please,
God.
is there any chance you would be willing to track down some rainbow pudding for me? And you could select yes or no.
What a fucking king. Did you get his rainbow pudding?
I don't know where the pudding is.
God damn it. Let's
I
look it
somehow
up.
ended up with rainbow pudding in my inventory, and I couldn't figure out what's it.
Oh, really?
What, I
shit.
don't. I'll check. I have it open here. Let me see. I think I still have it.
Maybe you went somewhere I didn't.
I typed in the word
exploring.
rainbow pudding, and I thought that FF4 would come right up. But in fact, no. Just pages and pages of how to make pudding that's rainbow colored.
We're getting in dangerous territory here with saying the word pudding over and over again with Curtis on the call. So, Alex, when you said he was in...
Not unless you give me 20,000 channel points.
I will never.
Apparently, flan princesses will drop rainbow pudding, which we have not. I have not encountered yet. There's a few other weird.
Oh, you know
encounters.
what?
It's in my
Interesting.
other save file,
I think
there it is.
I saw someone tweeting about this recently when they were playing in the Pixel remake, where they were trying to get a rare drop from the flan princesses. I can't remember if it was the rainbow pudding, but
It might have been
they
the
had some
rat tail.
interest. Yeah, maybe. But
Rainbow
it was
pudding.
a lot of grinding that took apparently took hours because like the drop rate is just ridiculous in this game, and they got extremely unlucky. Let me see if I can track that down while you guys are talking.
I don't know why I have it here. It just says an elusive delicacy when I hover over it. Yeah, okay. I don't remember
Man, I'm
how
getting
that
hungry looking at all
happened.
these puddings, though.
Me too.
Yeah, it seems like a rare item, but like there is, I guess, other ways to obtain it. I guess we can talk about that at some point when we have to.
I wonder if that's only in your version of the game,
Yeah, maybe.
because I don't know if I will need that. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It is 3D only.
Apparently, he just says, "Oh, you found it. Thank you so much. I'd best give this to my girlfriend." I wonder if at this point, because like I missed Jamming Way, right? Like I didn't even get that, but I still saw him in Troya. I wonder if like the rest of this quest is all mandatory. So like instead of it going along with you, it just kind of like stops at Agart. And then you kind of have the rest of the game to just get it whenever you can. You know what I mean?
This is where
Maybe.
the side quests become Dark Souls side quests, where it's like,
That's
well,
right,
you
yeah.
didn't talk to him at Sen's Fortress,
Oh,
so
yeah.
now he's just not going to show
It
up.
looks like he has 5 more names to go through.
Wow.
Spoiler.
Well, we'll get
I
another
might
one.
have
If,
to go back to order save and talk to him again somewhere.
yeah.
I think I ran into him in this town when I was just kind of like originally exploring the world, and I was like, "Ooh, there's something here I can't move past," because it's just he's in an empty house where there's no door, so you walk in there and then you're walking around. I'm like, "Cool, it's a chest, or it's gonna give me gil or something," and I hit A, and it was just like naming way. Do you want to change your name? I was like, "God, get away from me!"
yeah. The 2D version, yes, yeah, he's in there. Yeah, which is quite hilarious. I like that. Like he's in both of the games in that house, but just like with very different events tied to it.
Yeah.
Oh, pudding way.
Oh,
I don't-
pudding way.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on in this town that's worth mentioning.
I can think of one thing in the center of town.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
I know, I was trying to segue.
No, we can just move on.
The inn is pretty bustling. It's like an actual like. It kind of reminds me of old timey pub. It's like a club. There's like what?
I love the inn.
There's different shops there. There's places to rest. There's a dancer
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, how's the dancer doing this one? I can't remember.
Ooh, actually, the
She does the
dancer's
forbidden
dialogue is
dance.
interesting. She says she's going to do a dance from an unknown place. She's like, I don't know where this comes from. Like it's a mysterious dance handed down through our people. And I was like, oh, So just like
Would like to see my special dance? It is said to have been brought here from the depths of the underworld. Get ready.
Ooh, so not such
And it plays like
such a
the
mystery.
spooky, like ominous kind of variation of the dancing music, not the sword dance one.
yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
But importantly, in the middle of town is a well, right?
Well,
A very deep well.
A very deep well. The guy standing in front of it says that it could be bottomless for all he knows.
Yeah.
And if you go up and try to interact with the well, you'll get the inventory pops up, and you get the chance to try to throw something down the well, right? Which I did notice, at least on the Super Nintendo version or the Famicom version, if you pick something like a tent, it doesn't use it up. So I was like, I wonder if I can really actually throw things down
Everything.
the well. Yeah.
It's like, thank God I finally made it here. I can't sell this mythical sword that I got, so I'm just gonna throw it down the well and get rid of it.
Yeah, who needs
Doesn't let me
that
throw it
junk?
away or sell it.
We're sending our love down the well.
Wait,
All
are you
down
telling me
that
like
well.
nothing happens when you throw Gishel greens, or how you pronounce that?
yeah, the earth just explodes in the chocobos.
Chocobo doesn't.
I'm so excited to talk about big chocobo things this episode. It's going to be good.
Just chocobo things.
Just chocobo things. But this is where we want to throw our magma key or magma stone or
It seems like a
magma.
hazard to have like a bottomless pit in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what if you
Yeah.
fall in?
There's no guardrails.
They could have done Coraline rules and just like, put a bunch of wood over it or something.
The other mother is down there.
Oh no. The Bell Dam.
Ooh.
The Bell Darn.
So what do you all offer to the hole?
That stone thing.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't try anything. I didn't try
I was
anything
like, I don't have
fun.
time for this. Throw the stone in.
Yeah, I'm like, I got places to be.
Y'all aren't in West Philly, but y'all remember that sinkhole in West Philadelphia that everyone was worshiping?
No,
Is
but
that
that
the-
does sound pretty West Philly.
Is that the
Yeah, it's
do
like-
attend thing?
No,
No.
that was
There
South
a
Philly,
si-
I think.
There's a sinkhole
That's
that
right.
developed near Clark Park, near where I worked. At the time, I was working at the cafe there, and the whole intersection was blocked off because a sinkhole had started to form in a major intersection.
Holy
And
shit.
fantastic.
Because there's a creek running underneath that whole block, and so there's lots of like just people offering and throwing things into it.
God, I fucking love
Because they
Philly.
knew the secret that we're about to find
Yeah,
out.
they were trying to get to where we're going.
they just wanted
Yeah.
the dark crystals.
Yeah, they need to
Come
get the
on.
dark crystals and stop Golbez.
But yeah, so if we throw the magma down the well,
Magma stone.
the whole fucking mountain explodes.
Yeah, with a kick-ass cutscene too. At
Yeah.
least in my version.
The 3D version, it's real. The whole party's here, and like it's actually a lot more involved. I just watched you play it through it today, Curtis.
Yeah.
Where the whole screen starts shaking and turning red, and Cecil's like, "What's this?" And Kane's like, "It's glowing." And Sid's like, "Let me see it." That's strange. It's getting warmer.
Oh, that's
Ouch,
right.
ouch. It's like getting hot. It's like a hot potato, and then he accidentally throws it into the well. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Sid like bungles it. He's like, oh, this magma stone, it's getting so hot, and he's like juggling it and accidentally drops it down the well in the 3D version.
Oh, that's really good.
So in the 3D version, it just gets hot being near this hole, not even getting thrown down the hole.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's-
was the magma stone going to explode or something like that?
There's a lot of differences in between. Like the games have been very, very similar dialogue wise and like event wise up until this episode, and they're very different for these next couple of scenes. It's very interesting.
So what if nothing? What if this is the wrong thing to do? It would be really funny.
I
It was
know.
like, it was
I
like,
know.
oh, I guess we got rid of this key item, and now we are soft locked it because we threw it in a hole.
Yeah.
My first thought was just like, oh fuck, dude, like anytime Cecil has something like especially this color and he brings it to a town, like
Bad
it doesn't
stuff
really
happens.
go well. And then I saw all of
Yeah.
this and I was like, did I just blow up another fucking town?
We get another summoner now.
Yeah, right.
Maybe
Yeah,
Yuna
yeah,
or
there's another
something.
kid. Well, that one kid said she's really, really strong. So we have somebody to go in our front row.
Yes. Another child for us to sacrifice.
Yep.
Do you all know what the biggest hole in the world is that was dug?
Yes, the Kola super deep borehole in Russia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That thing's eerie.
As soon as you said it, I was like, I do know this.
That was a solid setup for like a 5th grade joke, by the way. Like it could have been real easy.
I just really wanted to nerd out. I was like, this is the one time ever that I'll have a chance to sound smart on this podcast. So I'm gonna take it.
It is kind of eerie. Like
It's wild.
Yeah, like they started build. I don't know if you two have heard about this, but you two, I mean Darmock and Carl.
I'm looking at it now. I just typed in "big hole Russia," which surprisingly, the first result is what you guys are talking about.
Like northwestmost part of Russia, they started digging this hole in like the 70s for scientific reasons, just to see how deep they can go.
Yo, I want
like,
that job. I'm doing this for science. I'm just gonna dig a hole for years.
Play the Soviet anthem right here in the podcast.
Yeah, there's actually some really good like. Let me actually link you all. There's a good page where they had some really cool.
I think that was post-Soviet Union, wasn't it?
Maybe, but the heart's there.
It started in the 70s.
Digging a big hole, it's got the spirit.
But yeah, they started in the 70s. They got it's a 9-inch wide hole, so you could throw a magma stone down it. But they made it about 4 miles before like the drill broke because they were just hitting like so much like
bedrock.
They
got to the bottom of the Minecraft server.
They keep fucking up and had like basically like start at 7,000 feet and like start a new hole because the bit would just keep getting broken. But they made it about 7.5 miles deep. They were trying to get about 9 miles, which is through the Earth's crust, but they didn't quite make it.
I read something.
That's
somewhere.
only 0.2% of the Earth's radius. So
it's like nothing. It's crazy.
Which makes like Armageddon kind of funny. Like I don't know how big I forgot to look up how big the meteor was in Armageddon that they had to drill in the center of. Mm-hmm. Big enough to blow it in half, but I don't know. It's not. Final Fantasy is not very realistic. Turns out.
I did read one time that one of the reasons that they had to stop drilling as well was when you get down that far, the rocks act more like plastic than rocks, and it would like gum up the machine.
It was basically so hot. It was just like starting to melt and like fuse. It's like trying to. I can't really think of.
Yeah, I don't
how
know
to compare it to, But it's just the surface was like it could get to like negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and then at where they were digging it was like almost 400 degrees.
Yeah,
and like and it was just starting to melt and gum up the. You can't really dig through like that. It's ridiculous.
I feel like it would also be
the rainbow pudding is down there. That's what they were digging through.
It's like drilling through pudding.
It's that coffin juice that everyone wanted to drink. That red coffin juice.
Oh yeah, the good old sarcophagus
under the
smoothie.
Earth's crust is just coffin juice all the way down. We're all just floating on it.
I feel like I'd also be, it would be very uncharacteristic of us to not make the obvious Simpsons reference here where it's, no, dig up, stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, we blew up that mountain.
Yeah.
It's like, it basically looks just like the fucking crater in Final Fantasy VII now.
Yeah.
Miraculously,
exactly.
no one in the town was hurt.
Yeah, like luckily it was the mountain because I was thinking that too. I'm like, what just blew up? And now I was expecting like a giant hole where the well was. And I was like, oh, okay, now I can get there from here. And I was like walking around and I was like talking to everyone to see if they were like, whoa, what was that explosion and stuff? And everyone was just like, I really like my telescope. Like it was all the same dialogue. And I was just
still
like,
really strong.
It's like the moon is red now. I'm like, dude, like 10 feet that way, some shit just went down. Like, what do you mean you're talking about your telescope?
Did you not hear that?
Yeah.
There's some girl who's like, there can be no day save there cometh night, no light save there be darkness. That's what ancestors used to say. I don't know who that is or what she meant.
Yeah, she says ancestors. like the name.
Oh, ancestors. That's really good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say she's quoting Harvey Dent from the one Batman movie, the Joker movie.
Yeah,
it's always dark. It's just before the dawn. I'm like, I don't think that's true, but the sentiment is nice.
There's a blue hour actually.
It's dark blue. Anyway,
we can go fly into that hole now, right?
We can fly into the hole.
Hell yeah!
That's all I've ever wanted.
Why wouldn't you? Just
I don't
throw in the hole.
What could possibly happen?
Well,
it's gonna be totally safe. Don't worry.
Well, we go down the hole, and
it's the Nether from Minecraft.
It's the Nether
so
from Minecraft.
Good.
It actually does kind of look like the Nether from Minecraft.
I got so excited because I was like, yo, we're just straight up in hell. Like, this is awesome. Like, and I was like, this tracks with Final Fantasy 1 and like the similarities we've been seeing where every single one of the fiends that we killed was like, I'll see you in hell. And I'm like, we made it to hell. And then it was just like,
we're going to see
oh no, this is just like, this is just like slightly under the earth. And like, instead of an ocean, there's like lava and shit. And I was like,
here's
that's
my
awesome.
question.
That's even cool. That's even cooler.
Here's my question.
Moleman.
I don't know. I'm not an architect, right? I don't know how buildings work, right? But like, I know that in the building I work in, there are like pillars and like support columns that hold up that building. And in this place, there are no support columns or pillars or anything. How is the crust being supported?
See, the if it's the same as you build an arch bridge, the entire Earth is supporting itself by equal pressure from all directions.
all the way across, yeah.
I said magic.
Imagine that's literally all you need to do.
It's the dark crystals.
Now that we've drilled a hole, all the hot air is getting out, so now it's going to collapse in on itself.
Yeah,
Right,
the
yeah.
pressure. It was the pressure that was keeping it
way
up, but
to
now we
go
have the
on
hole.
But yeah, I think it's more so like the more based version of like the the flat Earth theory, which is of course the hollow Earth theory, which is like I'm looking here. I think it's from around like the 1700s or something, where they had a theory that there were like subterranean like people, and we were just on the surface, but there is a whole bustling like civilization that lives underneath the Earth's crust that we haven't made contact with.
Yo, have any of y'all seen Godzilla vs. Kong?
No.
There's some fucking good Hollow Earth shit in that.
I was going to say they came up with Gurren Lagann like way early. If anybody has seen that. It's anime. It's good.
I have not. Did H.G. Wells write a story about?
Oh, Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Yeah, was that H.G. Wells?
It's Jules Verne, I think.
Yeah, Jules Verne, that's right. For some reason, I was like, it's the guy who wrote The Time Machine, who I was surprised was H.G. Wells. No, I think you're right, Jules Verne. Who is the grandfather of the flux capacitor, as we all know.
Ah, indeed.
He also did Around the World in 80 Days.
Was Jackie Chan
I can do that.
a version of that?
Maybe.
So if we're in hell, is Scarmiglione meeting us here?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would assume.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I will drag you to my house for a nice dinner with my parents.
yeah, I'll see you in hell. And you see him, you're like, hey.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, what's up? I'm glad I saw you guys.
Oh, you made it. I thought you wouldn't show up.
Hey, all that stuff before, we were just having fun.
But we are now in the Underworld. It is full of magma. All the ground is gray. I like the color palette a lot. It looks cool as hell.
There's still grass.
Yeah,
somehow.
it's kind of different, though. It's like ashen grass, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
It could just be the foggy air.
Oh,
Mine just looks like
be.
a bunch of dirt, and then there's all these like basically sparks or magma little bitty pieces flying in the
amber?
air.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. Like
it's very aesthetically pleasing. I like it a lot.
One thing that I really like is that I opened the menu to just kind of see where I was, to see like what it says, and it's just called the Underworld, and that I had a moment of realization where I was like, holy shit, the entire time I was on the world map I was on the overworld, and now I'm on the underworld.
Yeah.
Like that's it's just like video game word, I can just ignore it, and then I'm just like, holy shit.
They said the thing.
It's like in the Zelda Link Between Worlds, it's low rule.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
High rule and low rule. All right, here's my question though. Because the very first thing that happens when we get down here is there is a pitched battle underway between a mysterious group of tanks and the Red Wings. How the fuck did the Red Wings get down here?
They're always a step ahead.
Yeah.
They're always a step ahead.
Yeah, they were like, we weren't fast enough. I'm like, wait, but how did they get here?
Yeah, like what? How did they get here?
I'm
Maybe
assuming
they swooped in.
Did they make another hole?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Well, I actually kind of have a theory about that, maybe, because
I do
if
too,
you flew around the world,
same theory.
There's another very large tower, which I just saw and I was like, that must be the Tower of Zot, but it's not, because we were on a separate section of the world when we went to the Tower of Zot, but there is a tower there. I think they might have even name dropped it by now at this point, but it's surrounded by like a mountain range with a very similar like crater kind of situation. So they could have just gone in from that way.
I think so too, because like it is revealed in this episode that is Golbez's home base.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that if he controls the Red Wings, that's where he would come in from. So
and he already knows about the dark crystals and stuff, and he's, so
right.
I think it's like we just found our way through here in an alternate path.
But they're engaging each other, this like mysterious group of tanks in the Red Wings, and Sid is like, yo, I want to fly right in the fucking middle of that. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Because like
we might get some sort of speed boost or something.
Yeah, because like when he when we first get to the Underworld, the game takes control of us, or takes control away from us, right? And has us go like several tiles left and then south. And like he drove into it. It wasn't everywhere. He was just like, yeah, that shit, I want to be right in the middle of that shit. That sounds
Hell
good.
Yeah.
Bring me closer. I want a closer look.
Yeah. So he flies us right in the middle of those two, and the Enterprise starts getting hit with shell fire from both sides because Sid is a brain genius. Yeah.
Star Trek. Sorry.
And Sid's like, hold on tight. We've got to break through the line. I'm like, come on, dude.
It reminds me of in that movie about the wars in the stars when Han Solo says, where he's like talking to the Millennium Falcon and he's like, hold together, baby, hear me, baby, hold together, because like Sid like literally says those things, and I'm like, oh, they just stole it.
Yeah. Or it's like in what's it called, Watchmen. I'm gonna take that again without the voice crack. It's like in Watchmen. You can also keep that in.
Watchmen.
I'm talking about comic books, so I suddenly turn into a nerdy teenager again. But yeah, in Watchmen, like one of the things that what the fuck was the owl guy's name? It doesn't matter. Hootie. Yeah, Hootie and his famous
is that
blowfish.
Ozymandias? No.
No, Ozymandias is the other guy.
He's played by Ocean Master. What's his name? Patrick Wilson.
I thought you meant Aquaman.
I thought you were going to say Aquaman.
No, he's an Aquaman villain. His name Ocean Master.
Night Owl. Night Owl is his name.
Night Owl.
He's the owl character. He usually only goes out at night. What's his name? Aquaman. Hootie. But yeah, like anytime he's flying around, he calls his like owl ship or whatever, he calls it Archie, I think. And he'll just be like, oh, I don't like the way Archie's kicking.
Yeah.
I had to drive very shitty cars for most of my life, so anytime I would be like, my car might set on fire as I drive it, I would always just say, I don't like the way Archie's kicking.
Oh, okay, I like it. That's
Nice.
good.
Darmock, what's your opinion on this airship being named the Enterprise in this one?
It's really effing weird when they seem to be more Star Wars fans than Star Trek. I was like, well, why haven't they set shields to maximum as they fly through this thing? Like, I mean, come on.
The overlooked maneuver.
What factor 8, Kane?
Who is the best Star Trek captain? Is it Picard, Kirk, or Sid? It's Sid. Sid, isn't it?
Damn it.
You probably missed. I don't know if you listened to previous episodes, but did you catch the William Shatner name drop in a few episodes ago?
No, I think I missed it.
When we meet up with Baigan again, Palom calls him out his shitty acting and says that William Shatner is a better actor.
Yeah, he's like, William Shatner is a better actor than you. We're like, what?
So yeah, Sid's probably a Star Trek fan because they basically just admitted that Star Trek exists in this universe.
I wondered, does this predate the Star Wars references in Final Fantasy games?
That's a good question.
I mean, I guess we'll find out when we do deeper dives into the other ones. But
Biggs and Wedge.
I'm curious for when we get to Final Fantasy 2, like the original 2. Because
right, that's the main character in that is Jonathan Star Wars.
That's right, yeah, and his the main enemy, Emperor Vader.
Yeah.
But it literally is like there literally are the rebels versus the Empire. Like that is the plot of 2. So like I wonder
so
if
it
that's
is Star Trek.
Yeah, it's Star Trek, right?
Definitely.
Getting real tired of these Star Wars.
Either way, though, the Enterprise cannot handle it, and we are forced down to the ground, right?
Yeah. I think that's really cool. Like, I really like that I mean, all Final Fantasy games that we've played have kind of done this, where they give you some new way of traveling, but it doesn't unlock the whole world.
Yeah.
And like I was like, damn, we got the airship pretty early in this game, and now we can go anywhere in the world. And now we just found this new spot, and we're suddenly just like, oh, we're trapped here because we came here by airship, and it was immediately shot down. And now we have to just walk around on this new world map.
Yep. In the 3D version, there's some interesting text here. Like, you know how like in the 3D version you can open the menu and see what each character is thinking. And you can see like different people's kind of like take on it, right? Kane, of course, is just like, oh, we need to make sure that Rose is okay and get her out of this heat. And I'm like, oh, Kane, poor boy.
Yang is like, I wonder if they still make that shampoo that I like.
And then Sid says, and like we'll get a little bit more of this later, but it does like tell us now, where Sid's like, yeah, the Enterprise is not gonna fly again because of the heat. So it's not even that we've been like, it not even being shot down that's keeping us down. He's like, there's no way I can do this with the heat.
He didn't account for this atmosphere.
Right. But
he forgot the coolant when he made it, so
yeah.
He's like, I can get that next month when I'm getting this inspected. It's fine. I can hold out till then.
Yeah, no problem.
But we're gonna have to walk it to the next town, which luckily is like 5 tiles away from us when we land.
Luckily, we didn't land in the lava sea.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to like walk through this area and like find some way to get to the next town, and like, oh, there it is. We like pretty much land on top of it. But there's a castle here.
Did you hit any enemies before the castle?
I didn't. Did you?
I did.
What is down here?
Oh god. Well, I think there were some, I forget what they were called, but they were like these chameleon things.
Oh yeah, they're like little fire lizards, I think, or something like that.
And they cast
like the basilisks.
I think the previous level. The ones that cast stone constantly.
Oh yeah. There's also some pangolins.
Oh yeah, I think they're like basilisks or something.
Okay.
There's pangolins and like other things too. I forget what else.
Let's pull it up again.
It's weird. It's weird down here.
Everything's
weird.
Really weird.
Little sand shrews.
Sand shrews?
Yeah.
Magmars.
Electabuzz. Those are just Pokemon that I know.
Zumacrew.
Monster Mash, Zumacrew.
All the freaks are here. But so once we get to the I guess that gives you a way to level up if you need to for what's coming up, right? Because when we get to the castle, we find that this is the home of the dwarves.
They seem pretty friendly.
What is the name of this town?
I think it's just Dwarven Castle, right?
Dwarven Castle.
Okay. And they have a special greeting that we're gonna. I think. Wait, have we already seen it? Did we see it in FF1?
I don't know.
They say "Lolly Ho."
Lolly Ho.
And I can't remember if they do that in FF1.
I'm looking,
but in a lot of games,
I'm looking at the script and they're saying "Rally Ho."
In the original script, they said "Rally Ho." That is what they said in the original one. But since then, in more modern translations, they made it "Lolly Ho." And in like the naming way version, because they retranslated it, they went back and made
interesting.
It
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Lolly Ho.
Lolly Hole.
No, it's strike it. I was gonna say your version has a much cooler way of saying it.
Yeah. Well, it's probably more accurate. Probably to like because like the R and the L thing for Japanese. So like, I can see how they made it Lolly Ho.
Apparently, I did not find this yet, but apparently is referenced in the name of a pornographic Dwarven magazine in the 3D remake that you can find in this castle.
What?
Damn.
No, I did not find that.
Called Lustful Lolly Ho.
I also did not find that.
Is that like behind a wall or something? Like, because there were behind the wall pathways in other levels.
It's probably like
in other buildings.
It's in between two like a mattress and a bed frame in the inn. Like finally, like, what is this? Why are all the pages stuck together?
Oh no!
Oh no!
It's the humidity.
It's just swampy.
Well, I'll tell you what is in this castle that we can use immediately is the inn, and I think that we should do that before we continue on. What do y'all think?
Yeah, that sounds very nice.
Yeah, I could use a nap.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys after our break.
Sounds great.
So there is an NPC in the middle of this castle that doesn't seem that important at first glance, but there's like one little girl dwarf, right? And I like her little character is very cute.
We should mention what the dwarves look like in this game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, in mine they are like kind of.
They remind me of like Vivi in a way. Like they're like hairier and like stouter.
They're kind of mage-like. They're almost like how a mage was designed in the old games, but as a dwarf. So they have a beard sticking out, but their eyes are just in a black little void with horns.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really cute. But the little girl dwarf is like, she's like a little small red outfit. She almost looks like she's from like Eco or something like that.
Yeah, and she has like the little pigtails.
Yeah, but she still has like a black void of a face. Yeah,
yeah,
it's very
with the
cute.
glowing yellow eyes.
Little Jawa.
But she importantly says that she lost her dolls that she's been playing with. Right?
That's probably not important.
I thought this was going to be a go find the dolls mission.
Yeah,
perhaps it is.
And she says her doll's name is Calbrina.
Oh,
She's I lost my doll Calbrina. Like, let me know if you find it. And so
Calbrina explains it all.
Mine just says I lost my dolls. Have you seen them? Nothing
Oh, really?
else. Yeah.
I guess the naming way version that I had played name drop the Calbrina or whatever. But I don't think when I played the 3D one she didn't say. But
sorry, I looked up Calbrina and just got a bunch of Sabrina and Caliban /fic stuff.
Hell yeah. I mean, so there's only really one thing to do right now, right? And that is talk to the king. How do we pronounce the king's name?
Wait.
Gyoit?
There's a really important thing that we missed. We talked to
there?
this one guard kind of like to the right behind her. And he says, say it with me. 1, 2, 3.
Lolly-ho! Yeah. It is their dwarven greeting.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I thought we were going to do something like we did last time with the ha-ha-has.
I was ready. I hit it.
He says, lolly lule lo.
Snake. What did you say, Carl? How do you pronounce it?
I literally already forget how I pronounce it. Giot?
Get got.
Giot?
Get
G-O-T?
Jit.
Jit. Jit.
Is there actually like a canonical version of this?
Yeah, what's the katakana?
I think it would be Gi, right? Giot? If it was in
out.
I mean, I
I
guess
was doing that.
It could be, or it could be
That might be Giot.
Let's see here.
Like, because the Japanese version looks like it says J-I-O-T-T.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Giot.
It's a real Jeffrey situation, huh?
Giot.
It's like how in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the butler's name is Jeffrey, and Will always calls him G because it's the Jeffrey, Jeffrey Bruckheimer, it's spelled G-E-O or whatever.
I had a friend I used to work with back when I worked at the skate shop in Kentucky, whose name was Geoff. Like, it's like, I guess Jeff, but everybody say Geoff or whatever. And then one time somebody said that sounds like what a donkey says, and like I've never not been able to think Geoff. Like, whenever I see that name. So King Giot is here, and
that's
You can just call him Jet.
Jet.
Yeah.
Like George. It's just Jet. King George. King Jot.
But yeah, so he's in the throne room, and the party meets him and introduces themselves, and they're like immediately trusting. The king is like so fine with us. He's like,
there's so many things like, hey, we're under attack and all, but these guys just walked up. They're probably mean no harm, right? There's no way we can be double crossed.
They're
by
so
them.
cool with us. Yeah, they're just like, you know what? We can tell you're not with that Golbez guy. You're fine. Whatever, it's fine.
They're either extremremely naive or extremely like with it. You know what I mean?
They're smoking on that shit that made King Giot trust Cecil.
Look at this Giot model. It's very cute, I think. I could see this being like a plushie.
Yeah, it's very cute.
It's very cute. Mm-hmm. But he informs us that there are 4 dark crystals, but 2 of them have already been taken. So like Golbez has 6 out of the 8 now, right?
Yeah, which
so
I think also lends credibility to what we were saying earlier, where it's like, how did they beat us here? It's like, oh shit, they beat us here like through the same doorway as us, but already got 2 of the 4 crystals, and now like so I think like they do have another way of getting to the underworld.
Yeah, actually, I guess as far as we know, like they could have been getting these long before we had even seen the other ones gotten, right?
Yeah, true. This could have been the first 2 that they
gone
got.
down the well, one by one.
Yeah, I trust that somebody's down there to grab it.
We took our time walking back to the airship after the whole happened.
Cecil just keeps going back to Troya and watching
Yeah,
the next show.
Just keeps going to the
dancing.
King's pub or whatever, the King's Tavern.
But he's like, yeah. The crystal's safe. It's the crystal room is behind my throne. Our
Secret
crystal's
compartment,
safe.
nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows about it. I got my, what'd you say, lolly-ho porn book back there, whatever you were saying?
Yeah, some lustful lolly-ho.
The lustful Argonian is back there. And everything's fine. And then I think this depends on the version that you're playing. What happens in the 3D version?
The 3 version, Yang immediately pops up. This is very, I think, probably suspicious to like when we were defending the town he is from, where it's Fabul.
Yeah.
It's like there's an imposter, like someone's eavesdropping.
Okay, that is what happens in the 2D one as well.
Yeah,
And,
but
like-
doesn't something happen before that? Doesn't Sid kind of say bye-bye?
Oh yeah, Sid.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
We have to talk about Sid's departure. So let's
Good
back
call,
up.
Darmock. Sorry, I'm also trying to. I found out something about this castle that's pretty interesting. There's a bug called the 64 door hierarchy glitch. So I was trying to like read that as you guys were talking, and didn't even think like, oh
You
yeah,
know
like,
what?
we should be discussing the thing with Sid.
I didn't even think to talk about this.
About what?
The 64 door hierarchy glitch.
So
Okay,
basically,
what-
from
yeah.
go ahead, Curtis. You might know more than I do.
Okay, so the way this game keeps track of where you're going is it has like a number associated with like floors and rooms, right? And what's supposed to happen is like if you go up like a set of stairs, it increments the number of wherever you are by like 1, and then you go back downstairs and it de-increments it, right? But there are doors and stairs in the Dwarven castle that don't properly increment and de-increment your space on the original Super Famicom one. So you can get that number to just start going all over the place. So you can have it like not point you back to where you're going. And so you can start like going in a little loop, getting that number up. And then eventually you just take the stairs or the door or whatever, and it just throws you to the end screen. And it's like, you win. And you like beat the game that way.
That's wild. Yeah. So basically,
Wow.
like the way, like the room level, like or the room level, like variable will always be set to 0 on the world, on like any world map. And then there's like 2 types of ways you can be in a room, and it's like a go, which will increment it, and a return that'll like subtract it and stuff. So if you get to like 64, I think it'll then start to overflow and get to 0. So if you keep using like return or warp in one of these rooms where it doesn't like properly do it, that's how you kind of get the overflow to go, and you can go into like negatives and just cause glitches and stuff.
Yeah. So there's a speedrun category for it. Now my explanation is definitely not very good. Like yours actually was much better about the actual like how you do it. Because I'm not actually really familiar with it, other than the fact that you can do it here.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure we might have more to say on that, like the glitches eventually, if we like look into them more. But just kind of a cool thing that I saw that, and it completely like consumed my speedrunner brain. I was like, wait, that glitch.
But yeah, Darmock, you were saying there's a little bit of a dialogue before anything serious happens here.
Yeah. King, how did we decide we were pronouncing his name today? Giat?
Jed.
Big G.
It's a G,
King
yeah, just
G. King Big G.
King Goomba.
He mentions the castle's crystal secure. Rosa brings up the tanks we were battling, are they yours? And I think he just jumps. I'm looking at script now because I kind of zoomed a little too far ahead on this one save file.
Oh yeah, King G's like airships, you call them.
Yeah.
The surface world must be home to many wonders.
Yeah.
You call them tanks. We call them land airships here.
He's like, hey, can you lend us a hand with your airships, guys? And Sid's like, yeah, mine's pretty damaged.
Yeah.
And she'll need repairs before I can fly again. And the king's like, oh, I'll be happy to provide you materials, no problem. So
Dude, he's being
like,
a real solid homie, I will say.
I know. It's like we've known him for a long time or something.
I also like that he like compliments
Best
Sid's
buds.
handiwork. He's like, airships, the overworld makes incredible things, like hard battles for our
Yeah.
tanks. Like he's not like, yo, you guys are fucked up like making these. He's like, that's pretty fucking sick. Like it takes a lot of work to take out my tanks.
He's got really. This is like a utopian version of Baron where Sid became the king.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also,
I'm sure it's great. He kind of gives off kind of a dwarven energy.
He
with the
does.
beard anyway.
some of the dwarves we might have talked to were in the inn. One of the dwarves, actually, I think, mentioned that dwarven workmanship is really good, which is kind of like a Lord of the Rings sort
Yeah.
of thing. So, like, I think he's also admiring it from a workmanship kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, look, you guys can do cool things too with
Right,
handiwork.
yeah.
It's really cool. A lot of solidarity here.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
But yeah, King Jiet immediately like offers like any materials that Sid needs to get the ship back up and running, and like Sid's like, hell yeah, let's do that. I'm actually gonna like do that, and then go back to the surface and reinforce the ship with mithril plating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to get up and running just enough to like go back up and like reinforce and then come back for us. It seems like. So,
Yeah,
Right.
and that's where he mentions, he's like, yeah, like I'm going to temporarily fix it and get it out of here because in this heat with the lava, it's not going to last long, like we were saying earlier. So
I mean, it's
Right.
it's made of wood and like cloth sails and shit. So it's
Yeah.
kind of fucking just
Yeah.
he goes out, it's just fully on fire. It's just a pile of ash.
a pile of ash.
Smoldering.
Oh,
Womp womp.
my stanza.
Yeah, so Sid leaves our party. Easy come, easy go with this game, huh? Every time we get a party member, we lose one immediately afterwards.
Yeah, at least he didn't
So-
die.
At least he didn't die yet.
Like every single one of our former party members, including the first one that we met.
That's right.
Rose was like, be careful, and Sid's like, oh, don't you go falling in love with me too now, Rosa.
Rosa. Kane and Cecil standing right here.
Some real Solaire energy. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you've caught feelings for me. Ho ho.
Yeah. Damn, Sid is so grossly incandescent. But yeah, and then Yang says that something's wrong, that we're being eavesdropped upon. And I think he says something like, my monk sense is never wrong, or something like that. He's like, no, I know this thing. Like, I can tell my senses are so good.
My Deus
There's
Ex
some, like-
Machina is tingling.
There's some really good subtle direction in the 3D version, because there's like a secondary guard right there who
Yeah.
like, who's like, there's no one else here but us, and that guard like kind of looks his head back and forth, like as if like kind of like the make you think like that, like, wait, is he the spy? This guy who's sitting right here?
Yeah, that's what I
the only other person
thought.
on the screen we don't have a name for.
Right.
And then, but instead it's like, no, I feel a presence behind that wall, which seems like a really good ploy to just like
to open
get
the
the-
crystal door, yeah.
quick, open it, let us in. We have to go fight whatever's behind there. It's like, I know we just met and everything, and he's like, but he is immediately like, open the door, and that guard who just says, yes, Lolly.
Yeah, yes, Lolly.
Yeah, and we enter the crystal chamber.
In the 2D version, when he says there's somebody eavesdropping on us, behind the wall where King Giot is, we
Yeah.
actually see little characters pop up and down behind. And you're like, are there children back there? There's like little
Yeah.
kids popping up and down, like jumping
Wow.
around and dancing. And that's
Just
when
jumping
they
over the
finally
wall
go back.
trying to get a peek.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh, speaking of little children, when I was like flying around, I went back to Baron and was just trying, like, I couldn't find where to go because I'm stupid. But I went to Baron and I was like walking my way through the castle, and I was back in that hallway where Palom and Porum are, and I was like,
Yes.
oh my god! And I was like, wait a second, and
Yes.
I could still interact with them, and I was like,
yes.
I have some gold needles. Let me try that. And I went to use gold needles, and it says the spell does not work because they turned to stone of their own free will. And I was like, oh man.
Interesting, though, that it gives you the option to use an item. isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I tried that a while ago because I kind of was like, no,
just a moisturizer.
I just save them.
Yeah, well, we may get the chance. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You can either use your magma stone there or use it to continue the game. You can either save them.
Yeah, they need a little hot stone massage.
Well, you've melted Palom Emporium down.
They're now slag.
Yeah, but now we're in the crystal room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are trapped inside, and we hear a non-dwarven greeting.
Indeed.
That says "Yip ho ho."
These yip ho hos ain't loyal. I don't like it.
And then there's those dolls we've seen before.
It's the dolls. So like these are the dolls that the little girl was talking about too. So like,
God damn it.
Very interesting. I like this turn, and it's not really explained exactly how it works, but like I can envision like these dolls have been sentient or like spy like machines the entire time, and like this little girl just kind of like came into ownership of them like somehow, you know, and like
no.
Golbez has been using it. Very interesting. But they say hello. They say they work for Lord Golbez, and they're gonna whip our asses.
Yeah, they say we are Calcabrina, adorable dolls, terrible dolls. You are mindless cretins.
We're the mindless cretins.
Charging into unknown halls. We'll cut your strings. Lord Golbez will be pleased. Yip ho ho.
Yip ho ho. Yeah. We're gonna do a fight with them, and
it's a little different dialogue in the version that I'm playing, and they say shit like "love to kill, let's take their heads," like a gift for Golbez, and it's like holy shit, these things are not fucking around.
No. I want to just point out real quick. Have you seen what they look like in Final Fantasy 14?
No.
Mm-mm.
You want me to drop? I'll drop a picture.
Yeah.
Because it is, as the Spaniards say, fucked.
Oh, it's just in synced, but no strings attached.
Take a look at that.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
That's pretty terrible.
Don't care for that.
Yeah, they're a little
Nope, don't like that.
fucked up in that game.
Yeah, that's extremely fucked up. Have you guys seen Robert the Doll? I feel like I've probably talked about Robert the Doll on the podcast before.
I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell.
Robert the Doll is a haunted doll that I think was from Florida. At least that's presently where Robert the Doll is. But the really, really fucked up story. I won't go into detail on it, but basically it's like this doll that this kid who was like kind of like strange himself, like really latched onto, and then weird things would start happening in the house, and he would always say, "I didn't do it, it was Robert." And like the parents were like, "Oh yeah, he's just like a..." But like a lot of really weird shit happened with him, and like it kind of became a thing where it was very obvious that he actually is haunted. So now they have him on display, and it's like, if you want to get a picture of him, you have to ask for his permission, and if you don't ask for his permission, then he will like haunt you and you'll have the worst luck of your life. So his room is just filled with like letters from people who have been like cursed by Robert the Doll, apologizing to him and saying like, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe." And I'll send you a picture of him.
It sounds good. And then we fight him here in the crystal chamber.
We fight Robert the Doll. Yeah.
Oh God, Carl, that's awful.
Yeah, he's horrifying. I think there was a really good episode of Lore about him as well. And there's also like a documentary, like a 15-minute documentary that you can watch on YouTube that me and my friends used to watch when we were trying to get scared.
There's a lot of don't care for that in this episode.
Yeah.
I said that twice already.
No, I like it.
Sorry, I was on another tab after looking at No Strings Attached by NSYNC, reminding myself to bookmark Lance Bass.
Oh yeah, Sephiroth himself.
Sephiroth, yeah. It all comes together. But when we get into a fight with them, there are 6 of them, right? And they're different colors. There's 3 orange ones and 3 like gray ones. And the orange ones are significantly weaker. Now, actually, you know what? I need to look it up because I don't know exactly how it works. So I need to like do that.
Well, it's just standard JRPG rules where the purple one is stronger.
I mean, that is the case, but I believe there's multiple versions of this boss. There's where you fight the 6 dolls, and then once you've defeated one color of them, they transform into one giant doll.
Yeah. Yeah, when they end up combining into the big like the big doll or whatever, it has very similar energy with the sprite in the 2D version as like the big baby that scares Angelica in that episode of Rugrats.
Yeah.
Oh,
The big brother.
yeah, I
The
remember
big
that
brother.
episode.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So I'm reading right here, and I thought this might be the case. I wasn't able to do this. I was thinking that maybe if you beat all 6 at exactly the same time, that the doll wouldn't be able to transform and you would just win the fight. And that does seem to be the case. If you can actually...
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
The third time I tried it, I did that. I was just messing
Did you get
around
it?
with like, yeah.
I couldn't get it. I tried, and I got... And I even had one of the orange ones left, one of the low HP ones. And then after I beat the gray one, the next turn to come up was Rosa and then Yang, and neither of them could do enough damage to kill the orange one. And it formed the Calcabrina, the large doll. So I couldn't beat it.
I think I started attacking the purple ones first, and then I just put it into auto to like see what would happen. And somehow that did the trick. I'm really not sure how.
Magic.
I just kept picking.
Kept kicking. They're not too bad separately, but when they form into the one large doll, that doll has incredible physical strength, like can do a lot of damage, and can also confuse one of your party members.
Yeah,
That was the
that's
worst.
the big thing. Like I think I had like Cecil hasted or even like berserked, and then the first thing that the big doll did, like Cal Sabrina did, was just immediately confused Cecil, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm just like Asuna, quick.
It uses glare, right? Or gaze.
Yeah, glare, I think, is what I use in mine. Interestingly, the name is also from a Dante's Divine Comedy thing. So, like, matching with the four fiends, the archfiends. Continuing along with that hell theme.
Yeah, one of the Malbranche.
Indeed. I like that the name means he who can walk on brine. Fantastic.
This MF walking on pickles.
Yeah, it doesn't have walk on pickles.
I think my toes are a little pickled now.
Yeah.
I'm as some people call very on brine.
Another interesting thing, if you do kill the entire party of dolls without like getting the second phase, then you will
baby.
just the mega baby.
The
then you will
mega
just
baby.
you will completely miss that for the bestiary.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know.
oh my dicks.
Yeah, your Pokédex, you will not be able to get the certificate that you can then print out with the Game Boy camera, or the Game Boy printer, I mean.
Oh man.
Interestingly, in the original Super Famicom version, or at least the Naming Way version that I'm playing, which is a lot of the same things, if you get to the Calcabrina form, or Calcabrina, and don't defeat it quickly enough, it will separate back out into 6 dolls again, and you have to do that phase again before you can get back into the big
God
baby form.
damn,
and
that's
also
fighting.
had
rough.
that happen.
Yeah.
I played this a lot. I played this one battle a lot, and there's reasons, and we can talk about that.
What are
I'm
those
sure.
reasons?
I don't know. Should we go into the next section?
I know the reason. So you
Oh,
didn't have
I
too
see
much
why,
trouble
okay.
with this boss battle, but
I
as we
see,
know
I
from
see.
the
Yeah.
other parts of the game that we've played, there's always only one boss battle per dungeon.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, you never
Only
do anything
one.
immediately afterwards.
You don't. We always get a chance to heal, save. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just Young being confused sucks.
Oh my God, that sucks so much.
Especially if he can confuse as well. I feel like that would just be quickly snowballing into a disaster.
Oh no.
Ugh.
But yeah, we get a little cutscene after, which we see the 4 dolls again. They say, they beat us, we're through, but now he knows where the crystal is. He'll be here soon enough to take revenge, Lord Golbez.
And he's pretty much here immediately.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as they finish that thought, Golbez warps into the room.
He's like Frieza when knowing where a Dragon Ball is. He's just fucking there.
And he's like, all right, Cecil, I didn't kill you last time, but this time I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And then like any fucking He dumbass good villain. He's like, but before I do, let me tell you all of my evil plan, like in detail, just in case. And he like tells us what the deal is.
In the 3D version, it looks like he sorry. Oh my god. Transporter. Like a Star Trek transporter effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets beamed.
Yeah. It's like all sparkly. Beamed down, yeah.
More of a lateral beaming, really.
I mean, the Enterprise, it makes sense they would have warp tech, right?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he spills his plan to us. And that is
he commends us for finding the Underworld, and as a reward for the efforts, he is going to tell us exactly why he is collecting the crystals.
Right. Which is to unlock the Tower of Babel, which will lead the way to the moon, a place with unimaginable power, right? So his plan is to go to the moon and utilize the moon's power somehow to become like the ruler of the planet.
Yeah, just like Sailor Moon or whatever.
Just like Sailor Moon. This Queen Beryl, Golbez, same person. I've not seen the two of them in the same room.
A little suspicious.
Yeah, it sucks. It's got some real Ocarina of Time energy as well, because he says, I need only one more crystal to realize my dream. You have been of great aid in my quest. Now prepare for your final reward. And like then he fights you. But it's just like, oh fuck, I've been accidentally helping him the entire time. Like everything that I've been doing to try to stop what's happening just kind of like made it happen faster. I love when games do that.
I mean, if we think about that every time, it was just like, so we should probably go to this next town, right? Like just like before he does, and like every time it's because he just follows us there.
Yeah.
It's like, why, Cecil, you idiot! From the first mission we've ever had in this game.
Yeah, we've just been working for Golbez.
Yeah, he's so dumb.
It's the kind of thing where you're like, would the world be better if I didn't do anything?
Yeah.
That's the philosophy that's why I don't do shit. Like the world's better off without me doing shit.
Like Cecil's a different brand of dipshit than like Titus, but like he's still in that category of just like just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I feel like he's more himbo.
Just because you're hot doesn't mean you don't have to think anymore.
Maybe, yeah.
Exactly.
Head empty. Only paladin.
I found out something like as I was just running through it. I don't know, just trying to do like an auto fight while we were talking. And I got through the dolls, but Rosa like kicked it. So if you go and you talk, if one of your party members, I guess, dies in the first battle with the dolls, then you are somehow resurrected and have 1 hit point when you're in the battle with
really?
Oh yeah, so I think
I guess that would have to be.
That happens in every battle, I'm pretty sure. You don't like if you survive through a battle, I'm pretty sure you don't have to use a Phoenix Down outside of battle. I might be wrong about that though.
Okay. I haven't tried it before this.
I think your characters can stay KO'd after battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to test that on my version because I'm pretty sure I remember that being a thing, but I might be mixing it up with something else.
I definitely had to Phoenix down on a couple characters after fucking around in that castle that I was talking about.
You know what?
Earlier.
I think you're right. No, I think you are right. I don't know what game I'm thinking of.
But it makes sense for what's getting ready to happen because it's kind of like a scripted scene that kind of requires the characters to be alive. And I wanted to say I love this scene, even though this is the part that I couldn't get past when I was a kid. I think this is like the most effective scene in this game.
This scene fucking rules.
It rules. When I think about this game, I like when I sit back and I just think about FF4. This is like the scene that I think about. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But we get into a battle with Golbez, and I guess what we're supposed to happen is you're supposed to attack Golbez and do basically no damage, and then he mocks you and is like, "Oh, is that all? You babies!" Yeah. But like,
such is your power, I expected more. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. But I knew that nothing was going to happen, so I just didn't do anything. So I just sat there for like a minute. He goes, "Is that all you've got?" And I was like, "I didn't do anything yet."
Like,
your job here is done.
He said that when I was like struggling to heal people on one of my attempts.
Yeah, you're like healing
I
everybody.
haven't touched you, dude. Like,
and you're like, what? Are you better at healing too? Like, is that all the green HP you can do? Goodness.
And then he just heals your whole party to show off.
Chiraga.
But he says, he's like, he says something like, "Get ready to like look into true terror" or something like that.
Oh yeah, in mine he casts binding cold.
Yes.
and it just paralyzes everyone.
Yeah.
And he says, "Your eyes,
Yeah, your eyes can still move.
open them and gaze upon true terror. Come forth, my creature of shadow." And he summons a fucking lizard.
Yeah, he summons the
Yeah,
dark
an
dragon.
Yeah.
Or shadow dragon, the shadow dragon. And then the shadow dragon starts using the skill called Devour. Or at least it was Devour in the one I was playing.
Black Fang in this one.
Black
Black
Fang.
Fang for us.
And it just systematically goes down your party and just instantly kills each of them, right?
Yep.
Which like is terrifying. Like that's such a scary scene.
It's so slow, and Goldbed says farewell, Cecil, right when he's about to get you.
Yeah, because he gets everybody else first. He takes out Kane, he takes out Rosa, he takes out Yang, and then he's about to get you, right? And like, yo, you gotta like put your like mind inside the mind of like tiny little Curtis when he is like
Just crying
fucking-
and screaming.
just
like,
freaking
"No!"
the fuck out. Oh my god, like it's terrifying. Like this, like everybody's paralyzed, you can't do anything, and the dragon is just one after another, just one hit KOing each of your party members, and you're like, holy shit, this is genuinely terrifying. This is like really
This
scary.
game is very cinematic for the limitations
One of
Absolutely.
of the kind of presentation.
Yeah.
Like it's able to put you in a battle, but even though they're like scripted battles, it's able to just create so much drama
Yeah, absolutely.
and suspense. It's really good.
One of my friends was telling me when I said, "Oh, I'm playing through FF4," and he's like, "Oh, that is the first Final Fantasy that they got cinematic on, like that they attempted a cinematic thing."
I think that Final Fantasy 2, they had some drama in that one, but I think because of like the extreme limitations, they couldn't get as like
Yeah, they couldn't do it as
theatric
well
with
as
it.
this.
Yeah.
I'm sure even just like as much as like having just enough characters on the screen
Yeah.
can go a long way. Just like being able to like be kind of more creative with your the language you use, and I mean just being able to like fit the script on the screen
Yeah.
in the cartridge is probably a big thing for them. Like, cool, we get to tell our story and not have to like read it like a fucking stock ticker
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like old pager texts.
Oh man, yeah.
But right before the Shadow Dragon is about to, like, right as it's getting ready to devour Cecilin, you get a game over, right?
A familiar face,
A familiar voice.
snoot.
A familiar voice,
Oh.
a familiar.
Oh wait, you're right. You're right. Actually,
Familiar effect.
the creature appears first, doesn't it? You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dragon comes in out of nowhere,
It's Mama.
like a white dragon, and
Cast radiant breath.
yeah, and destroys the Shadow Dragon, just completely obliterates it.
Immediately.
And I
And
love.
he says, is the foreshadowing and kind of like the hint of like, he says, "My shadow dragon slain by mere mist."
by mist, and I was like, and like, if you're playing the 2D version or like the Super Nintendo version, like as soon as the sprite appears on screen, you're like, that's the mist dragon. That's the mist dragon from the beginning of the game. I see it. Like that's the same sprite.
That's the dragon that I killed.
Yeah, dragon that I killed is back, baby.
And then the female voice. It says female voice on the screen. It says, "It's all right. You can move now."
And we're healed from paralysis. Yeah,
Yes, barrier shift.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and then a familiar character shows up.
A little bit taller.
but different.
Yeah.
Familiar, but yeah, taller, like you're saying. Yeah.
Familiar, but not too familiar.
Yeah. So a fully grown and aged Rydia shows up in the party. And this is all in the battle too. Like this is not like outside of the battle scene or anything like that. Like
Yeah, she just
the
like
fight
walks
is going.
in. It's so
It
good.
doesn't say Rydia joined the party. It just suddenly on the screen, boink, Rydia is now like part of the battle. It doesn't. There's like no real like.
There's no screen that says like Rydia joined.
Yeah, and the battle's still going.
It's like, oh shit, Rydia's just here.
yeah.
Yeah. The battle is going and like so you start the battle with Cecil like with no HP.
The
And-
rest of your party dead, and then just Rydia.
And Rydia
Tall as
only
hell.
has like 300 HP. But yeah, tall as hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Looking
why like
good fashion.
with
Yeah.
great fashion. Absolutely. And this is why like when I was younger I couldn't deal with this fight is there's so much to fucking manage from square one. 3 of the party members are dead. Cecil has no HP. Rydia only has like 300 to 400 HP max. Like you're not dealt a very good hand to begin this fight with.
Yeah.
I was like, well, time to start wailing on Golbez.
And you're playing the 3D one, right?
Yeah.
He's much tougher in the 3D version.
Yeah, it turns out he's kind of...
I can't tell, but it looks like Riddy has like a whip or something.
She does.
She's using a whip now.
Yep, that's her weapon. Mm-hmm.
That's hell yeah. She like has kind of like a Cirque du Soleil kind of aesthetic to her now.
Yeah.
She's got like long drapey, like she still has the big green wavy hair, but she has like a feather and like a whip and like almost like a ringmaster kind of look. It's really cool.
Yeah, the
I
Amino art is really, really good. I'll send it to you guys as well. Very, very Cirque du Soleil.
That rules.
Yeah, super cool.
But yeah, we just start wailing on Golby.
You start wailing on old Golby.
Yeah, and Darmock, do you want to... I'm assuming you had some trouble with this fight because you had to do the doll one over and over again?
Yeah, I think I've probably tried it 4 or 5 times. And I was finally like, okay, I'm not doing this right. I recognized pretty quickly that barrier shift was screwing up my attacks and stuff. But I didn't know how to like guess if there was like a pattern, like he casts lightning. Well, does that mean he's weak to lightning or weak to water? And I did look up a guide because I would just like, I'm at the end of my rope. I want to get past this.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it as well. If you're ever playing a game, I don't like, obviously there can't be some like, some moment of being like, hell yeah, I did it and was able to force my way through. But like, we're all fucking adults. We all have like life that we have to deal with. Like a game should be like fun. And like, if you're ever like banging your head against a wall on something, it's like, just look up a guide. You're not going to really lose anything about it, you know? Like,
so I had at one point tried to Phoenix down, I think Kane. This was before I looked up the guide. And I didn't get to heal him fast enough. So on my like last attempt, I read a guide and I was like, oh, okay. Rosa was the key. I picked Kane because he had more hit points.
Of course, yeah.
Rosa was the key to raise her, heal her, keep healing with like one of the two. Keep healing with Cecil, I think. I forget how I do it. It's been too many times now. I healed with Rydia using potions, I think, for the first like couple people. I basically didn't have her summon anything but Chocobo to attack because I thought it was non-elemental maybe.
Well, you're right. And here's the thing. In the 2D version, he doesn't use barrier shift. So it's a little bit easier. That's just not it's just not an equation. But in the 3D version, he changes his elemental weakness every time you hit his elemental weakness, and all the other elements heal him. So
that sucks. I did not
it's
have
so
that.
rough. So here's the thing: it's like the only way to like okay. So I had Cecil with the flame sword, right? And the only other like elemental options I have are like Yang's claws and the summons and black magic, right? So the way that I would handle it is I would try to get it wrong twice, right? I'd be like, well, let's cast like level 1 spells and I'll use Cecil for fire. And if I cast like thunder and it heals him, it's only going to heal him for like 100 or 200 damage. And then fire, I'll heal him for like 400. So like if I'm wrong both times, then I've healed him like 600. But then I know what his weakness is, right? If it's not thunder and it's not fire, then it is ice. And then I'll cast Shiva. And then in the 3D version, if you hit him with a summon that is his weakness, it'll do like 4,000 damage.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yes. So I would just like keep rotating it through and then hit him for these giant amounts each time. He's still tough though, because he's beating the shit out of you while you're doing it.
And that's a tough thing too. Again, kind of just like, it's surprising to think back to like, you know, when this game came out versus when Final Fantasy X came out, but it's kind of the same sort of thing where it's like, oh, we're going to put this very difficult battle after a very long thing you have to do first before you get another chance at doing it. And it's like, how did you not learn during this that this shit sucks?
I had Kane jump a lot, and I think I had Yang kick a lot, and then I was just healing. But I didn't have too much trouble with this, probably because of that, where I didn't have to deal with like the elemental shift and stuff, but it was still very tough. Like I immediately was just like in
like just autopilot mode where I'm like, shit, the battle's still going on. I have to raise everyone else. So I was using like whatever white magic I could or Phoenix Downs to bring up my party and then try to just maintain. I was like, I want to get everyone healed up and then go at them full force. And that was just not working out. So I think one of my party members ended up dying. I think it was like Yang. But I kind of just like went full assault on him and tried my best. And then I eventually like, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to just summon with Rydia and see how I do. And I summoned Titan because I'm like, this shit fucking leveled like part of a continent. I'm going to use that on him. I really want to do that. And I used it and I did so much damage to him that it like made the rest of the fight pretty easy.
Speaking of which, Rydia comes equipped with just like 6 summons now too.
Yeah.
She just has them ready to go. Just Shiva, Ramu, Ifrit, Titan,
some real
Chocobo,
familiar friends.
Yeah, and one more. I can't remember what the other one is that she has immediately, but she has a lot of them. And more black magic too. And noticeably,
Sans Undertale.
no white magic.
Yeah, I think that gets mentioned in our version.
Does.
And yeah,
It gets mentioned in the next scene.
yeah.
But yeah, this battle can be fucking tough though, man. It's a bit of a ringer.
Yeah.
I noticed Ifrit looked a little bit like the one from 10.
Yeah.
The summon, yeah, which was cool. I was like, oh, I miss you.
My boy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. But yeah, he's also like constantly casting like level 2 magic on the party. He can also drain and osmose the party. So like he did like use osmose on Rosa, and I was like, no, I need Rosa's MP really bad. Like it's very important for me in this fight.
Yeah, it happened to me too. I had to restore some MP.
Yeah, I will say that once again though, like somebody, I forgot who told me in my stream one time, so important. Shell and Protect in this game can be multicast. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
wow.
So necessary.
Did not know.
Yeah,
that
so
would,
it's like
that would be
really
very
easy.
helpful.
Yeah, it's very easy to throw them up real quick, and I suggest doing so. Absolutely.
I think I used Protect once. I didn't know you could do it multiple times.
Yeah,
Like,
it just
does
like
it
you do
stack?
with the holding forward
With
or
like
back
healing
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next time I play it.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I'll do it one more time. I'll do it one more playthrough. Battle. I have a save state ready.
Nice.
Let's see here. Anything else about this fight?
No, fight hard.
No.
Fight cool.
Fight cool, fight hard.
I was surprised when I finally beat him. I was like, oh, wait, it's doing the flash thing, and then where he sinks into the ground.
Yeah, we beat him up. Now, this next scene is very different depending on which version that you're playing. I'm curious what Carl's version does, actually.
So in mine, he just kind of like disappears in the battle and then just turns into a floating like gauntlet.
Yes, okay, so that's,
Wow.
yeah, that doesn't happen in the 3D version.
That's so weird.
There's a little cutscene first.
Yeah.
So fresh out of the battle, we holy shit, we defeated we did it. We defeated him, and like we see like a nice close up of Rydia. I'm like, Rydia, you saved our lives, but what's happened to you? So we got like we're getting a little bit of like backstory. What happened? What happened to Rydia?
Oh yeah, this happens before what I just said, by the way.
Yeah.
So there is this scene where they talk about, you know, what happened.
So she says, when we were attacked, Leviathan swallowed me and carried me to the land of the Eidolons, which is very convenient because that's kind of where she's from, I guess, her family lineage.
Yeah, as a summoner, yeah.
And she says, the Fey March, the place they call home. I lived among them and befriended them. I can't use white magic anymore, but my summoning and black magic have grown stronger. Time flows differently at the Fey March, though. And that's why she's grown
Yeah,
so
she
much.
said, so maybe I've aged faster.
Yeah.
It's like the weird training dimension in
Dragon Ball Z, yeah.
Hyperbolic
Yeah.
time chamber, hell yeah. That's why Future Trunks gets longer hair. They can go that weird version of Super Saiyan where they get really slow but super strong.
Yeah.
It's like between Super Saiyan 1 and 2.
But Kane's like, who the hell's this?
Yeah, Kane doesn't know
Cecil's-
who this is. And Cecil's like, yo, you're going to find this hard to believe, buddy. This is the little girl from the mist. And he's like, holy shit.
This is a surprise indeed, says Yang. And like Cecil's like, but why would you come to save us if it weren't for us, your mother? And Rydia's like, don't you say another word.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to deal with that, yeah.
Queen of the Eidolons told me this. The wheels of fate greater than us all are turning now. She told me we must stand against it and we must stand together. And yeah, she's now part of the party.
Yep. And as she finishes saying that, Golbez says, "I cannot perish." And then if you're playing the 2D version, he fades away all except for his gauntlet.
Yeah, like
That's
his
just
hand. It's extremely like Zelda, like like original Zelda with the wall masters or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like a fucking hand floating, goes up to the crystal and takes it and
disappears. It's the grabby
disappears.
hand from the beginning of Mario 64 that you can stretch his face with.
Yeah, it's the master hand from Smash Bros.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying though, it like crawls around and then goes up to the crystal and grabs it and then warps away. And it's like, man, we can never get one on Golbez. He's such a dick about this shit.
We probably should just keep the crystal safe instead of just like, well, everything's fine. We start walking away from just a dead body of Golbez.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And like,
real quick, I want to bring up the website that we're using, the Final Fantasy quotes for FF4 script.
Yeah.
Rydia's,
at least.
well, the one that I use, yeah. Rydia, her dialogue here, the way that it's configured in this site really threw me for a loop.
Oh, like, yeah, I saw that.
I was like, I don't remember that.
Told me? Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember this, and it sounds like it's kind of a pretty big deal. I wonder if it's a translation thing. I was like, I don't want to talk about it now if it's a spoiler, but it shows Rydia's like text box, and it says, "You don't have to thank me. The Queen of the Land of Summons." And then that's the end of the dialogue box.
Yeah.
And then there's another dialogue box that just says, "A great force is secretly at work. We must confront it together." Just when Cecil's group were about to leave. And the name of the person saying that is Told Me. So whatever they use to like make these dialogue boxes just accidentally split the sentence in half into two dialogue boxes and made the name like an important part of the thing where it's, "The Queen of the Land of Summons told me a great force is secretly at work," versus her being like, "You don't have to thank me. The Queen of the Land of Summons." And I was like, oh shit, she's queen now? Why did they leave that out of my game? Like, okay.
Who has told me? Yeah.
Yeah, who's told me? Is he related to Soulja Boy Tellum?
somebody once told me.
Yeah. But yeah, so he warps away with the crystal once again. And
In the Land of Summons, the days start coming, they don't stop coming.
They don't stop coming, they don't stop coming.
They don't stop summoning. They don't stop summoning.
Hey now, hey now, hey now. Hey
When you
now.
nut and she's still summoned.
God damn it. So Cecil's got a lot of practice at this now, so he's been getting very, very good at it, but returning to somebody and being like, "Hey, we fucked up and lost your crystal." Like he's done this more than like be in random battles at this point. He has so much experience.
We
in this.
swear this isn't just some long con that we're like going.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, pretend like
He'd make a good IT guy. I can't tell you how many times I've had to have this fucking conversation.
I've seen enough Better Call Saul to like know that this is totally like a fucking con artist thing where you just like you pretend to be on the side of the guy who's getting ripped off.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah. But yeah, so the king says there's one crystal left. We have to protect it. It's in the sealed cave to the southwest, and that's where Golbez is heading now. And the party, of course, as they've been doing the entire time, are like, we need to head to the sealed cave and beat Golbez there, right? And the king's like, hey, actually, you know what? How about you don't do that?
Yeah, how about
like,
you think of something better, because it has not worked out for you.
It has not worked out. We've done this 5 times now, and
yeah,
every
he also
we've
mentions
failed.
he cannot enter it without the key. Like, and it's like,
Yeah,
you need to give us the key so we can get there.
and every time they give you the key, like Golbez's like, "Ah, you fell for my plan."
Yeah, right.
Give us the
Invariably,
key.
yeah.
We'll open the door. We'll go in and protect it like we have at all the other places. And it's like,
We're obviously stronger than a locked door.
Yeah.
We've proved many
Yeah.
times before.
He can't get through us. Chain ourselves to the crystal.
Which
Dude, locked doors stop everything, as we found.
Golbez
out
will
many
be like,
times.
fine, I won't take the crystal, but can I just see it? And Cecil will be like, yeah, here you go.
Look with your eyes, not your hands.
Look with your eyes, not with your hands. But King Giat is like, hey, instead, they have the other 7 crystals, and they have them at their tower, the Tower of Babel. While he's going to the sealed cave, why don't you go there instead? Instead of protecting one crystal, why not steal back the other 7? Which, like, finally there's somebody in this game who, like, has a good plan and, like, some brains.
yeah.
It takes living underground for millennia.
Yeah, right.
To start thinking outside the box.
Gives new meaning to the phrase, "What have you been doing living under a rock?"
I was like, yes, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's made me smart. And the party's a little like, they're like, oh man, it's gonna be like well protected. It's probably gonna be difficult to get to. And Giat's like, no, it's cool. What we'll do is I'll send my tanks there and we'll act like we're gonna be firing on it. We're gonna start war with the tower. And what will happen is all of the soldiers that are in the tower will have to come outside to fight the tanks. So we'll start a war with them. And then while we're doing that, you sneak in the back way and then deal with the tower. Which is a good plan.
That's a really good
Yeah, they
plan.
want to draw their fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a much
This is
better
very-
plan than going to a town you've never heard of and hucking an important item down a well.
Yeah. But after he says that, we're then allowed to
I bet
explore.
there are like 60. Are there gonna be 60 floors we have to walk up again, like in fucking Shinra?
Yeah, it's like Shinra Tower, right? But after that, we're allowed to walk around the castle and basically what we're doing, where we're going to end this episode is once we leave the castle, right? Because we pretty much leave the castle into the walk there. But there's a lot of really interesting things in the castle.
Yeah.
Number one,
The towers have lots of treasure.
they do, and I want to talk about that. That's actually number one for me. Don't buy the fucking axe that's here. The dwarven axe, don't buy it. There's a treasure chest there that has it in there, and it's like $45,000.
It's so much money, yeah.
Yeah, I bought one and then immediately found the treasure chest with it in there, and I was like, God damn it.
The towers are kind of cool. Like there's a room with like some urns and just a guy who's like, "You're fighting Golbez too? Then take this treasure. May aid you in your battles." And then you go up a floor and these on the map you see there are 4 chests, but you have to kind of find these little hidden pathways. to get to
Yeah.
them. It's kind of cool.
And guess what? In the 2D version, naming way's here.
What?
There's a naming way in this room.
Oh,
And,
jeez.
and he just offers to change your name, as always.
I guess every time you get like a new party member, he just pops up and he's like, "Hey man, I see you got Rydia there.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
Interested
You wanna
in changing
change
your name?
Yeah.
Change my name. Change my name."
Like, hey, I see Sid left. Do you want to change Rydia's name to Sid?
I will next time I play. But yeah, there's some good treasures here.
I got a black belt gi here for Yang,
Yeah.
which was the main thing I was excited about. And on the east wing, as I'm like walking over, there was like just some guys like just reporting nothing unusual to report.
Nothing
Yeah,
to
one
see
guy
here.
asks-
Move along.
Yeah. Yeah, you found a dwarven axe, and then up to the other treasure room in the other tower. I'm not sure if there's anything really interesting in that one. I don't remember. I did not take a screenshot.
Yeah, I don't remember anything too crazy.
But the main thing was that dwarven axe.
Yeah.
I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to equip it because there's a few NPCs that like say like,
Oh yeah, our shit's too heavy for you weak land lubbers.
You little babies.
yeah, like what's made of lead.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to equip this one. But it was fine.
Decrease your speed or something, yeah.
You got to get the bracers for Link or whatever.
Oh,
before you can
yeah.
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
the gauntlets, yeah.
There is a secret back room, right?
There is a secret back room in between the two shops. And,
I missed that
In
one.
both versions, it's the pub, right? So that's the pub. Now, Alex, you have not found the rainbow pudding yet, right?
No.
Okay, pin in that. We'll come back to that on another episode when we do it. But the continuation of pudding way will happen here if we have. But in the 2D version, at least, I didn't find it in the 3D version, but I did in the 2D version. There is a very slight gap in between two wall tiles, but the walls are tiled such that you can't see the gap, right? Like there's just a slight different shading from like the top of a wall to the side of a wall. And if you notice it, you can be like, oh, I can actually wedge myself into this gap. And if you wedge yourself into that gap in the pub, you can make your way over to a staircase and go to the developer's room.
Oh yeah.
Developers.
I didn't see this, but
Nice.
I saw it in the wiki and I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and you get to talk to all the people who made the game. How nice.
That's a pretty classic like Final Fantasy or like just RPG. I guess Square RPG
Oh,
thing,
Chrono
'cause-
Trigger has it.
I think
yeah.
Super Mario RPG might have something similar.
Even
Maybe.
Pokemon has it too.
Pokemon
there's,
has it.
there's like an office building, and you can like talk to a bunch of like guys who are working on the game.
It's really good.
Yeah, I was watching you stream today, Curtis, because I didn't get it. I like that there are some random encounters with
Yes, incredible.
Nomura wants to fight you. He's like, "Fuck you! I know you're gonna be talking shit."
It was
later.
like a giant knight, and his name's Kei Aoki, and I think that's the name of the sound designer. He just says, "Do you want to hear my violin?" And Cecil's like, "No, not really."
Yeah, and he goes, oh, "Okay," and then he runs away. There was that one.
It was like he looked like a big gorilla who's like,
There's
I'm
the
gonna
ogre.
be a dad or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a daddy, and then he runs away, and you're like, "Oh, that's cute." But there was the one character in the sketching in the drawing room who says, when my partner leaves, I'll be the only woman on the graphics team. I hope I don't gag on all this testosterone." I was like, wow. Wild.
Even 80s had to deal with like workplace culture, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's been going forever.
Yeah, it's wild. There's a lot of wild stuff. My boy Nobuo Uematsu is in there.
Hell yeah.
He says, "Would you like me to teach you how to play an instrument?" And yes, I
yeah.
would
Please.
love to have him.
If only Edward was here.
Yeah,
Oh, Edward.
that room is full of harps, actually, which is interesting. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think when he's in Chrono Trigger, I think his dialogue is the thing that's written backwards.
Oh,
and then
maybe.
and then if you read it, it says something like, "Did you really just waste your time trying to read this?"
It's extremely Nobuo.
Interestingly, this room is not available in Easy Type, the English version on Super Nintendo, or the Pixel remasters, which is kind of a bummer. So all the good things we said about
the Pixel ones.
Yeah, all the positive things we said about the Pixel remaster, take it back.
Yeah.
Take it
Trash.
back. Piece of crap.
Yeah, I'm gonna backtrack a little, try to find.
I'm excited to go. I want to see like if the guy is still going to be a daddy in the 3D remake.
You've been about to be a daddy for a minute.
And then you counter him as like, my daughter's going to college. And
Yeah.
like, yay! Like it's just like updates.
That'd be
yeah,
so
that would be
good.
good. That would be good.
Unless it's like the new developers, like it's just like 4 people who like just ported it or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's like remaking the original game is really hard. I hope no one grills us for it. Hope we didn't make it too hard.
I just confirmed in Chrono Trigger, when you go to the developer room there, Nobuo's dialogue is written backwards, and if you read it backwards, it says, "I have nothing better to do than read this." And then, "Now run outside and play, boys and girls."
Oh, wow.
Aw.
Love him. Love that man.
Love it, man. But there's really nothing else to do or get here. That's kind of it. So after that, we can make our way down into like the basement levels of the castle, and there starts to be like a one-way kind of like winding path,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's like a weird shaped dungeon, and some NPCs are like, "Careful now, things are gonna get puffed." Like they're kind of giving me like the heads up that things are about to get really hard.
They're like, maybe go save,
maybe
buy
you
some
should get
supplies.
This
Yeah.
is like what? This is like the fort. It's like we accidentally entered like a secret fortress, kind of on the outskirts of Babel.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think that these are almost like kind of an access tunnel, like the back
Yeah.
entrance to the Dwarven fortress, approaching Babel. Yeah. It's cool, but there's also a healing pot, which is nice.
There is.
that heals, restores all your HP and MP, which is good because half my party was still dead from the previous fight.
I wish I'd known
There-
that before I went back to the inn after the fight, but
It's expensive.
it is.
Yeah. There's also a space for a fat chocobo. With
Yeah.
some of my favorite dialogue in the game thus far.
Oh yeah,
Where if you talk to the dwarf beside where the fat chocobo appears, he says, "Fat chocobo, what blasphemy! That is a god bird." Hell yeah, my man.
he's like the Buddha of their world.
So good.
Yeah, he's like, "Do not call it fat chocobo. That is offensive." I'm like, good. Put respect on my
Blasphemer.
chocobo's name. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all that's really left is to exit the castle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can, and that's where we see the Tower of Babel being attacked by the front line, the tanks, the Warhammer tanks, like
Yep.
you mentioned.
The Advanced Wars tanks.
Yeah, they're very advanced warsies.
They do kind of look like it. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it today. Let me get out our sheet so we can see what the heck we're gonna do next week.
We're going up that tower.
Running on up that tower.
Get to the top guy, get to the top guy, get to the top of the clock tower.
And I think that's it, right? Yeah, it's just the tower. We're just doing the tower next time. There's quite a bit to talk about in it, so some shit goeth down.
Hopefully some good shit. We're due for a win.
We're due for a win. We're definitely
like
not
literally
lose any
7-0.
Yeah, we're not gonna lose any characters. Nothing bad's gonna happen to anybody. It's
exactly.
fine.
It's gonna be
Darmock,
great.
thank you so much for being on.
Thanks.
Yeah,
for having
Darmock,
me.
thank you.
So,
It's fun.
you're always welcome. If you have any versions that we have not played, I trust you to kind of do the research for us because you've been good.
Yeah, as our
last
PS2
season.
correspondent, tell us how it is on PS2.
So
It's on PS2. I know there's a version.
Well, PS2s are backward compatible. It's close enough.
maybe.
There's a version on PS1.
Yeah, I could maybe look into that.
Oh yeah, it is in the PS1.
You know what's great about the PS1 versions of these games? Imagine that you got to play them with all the fun of the SNES games, but you just added load times to it.
Yo, hell yeah. I
Oh,
love
Really
these
yeah.
long
things.
load times.
Gosh, that
Love that
sounds
shit.
fun. I like load
So
times.
fun.
They got nice loading animations and
It gives you a chance to breathe.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to do that occasionally.
Yeah, you get to read all the
You need to learn some lore.
You learn all the lore from the item descriptions, yeah.
Yeah.
So you go and meditate with the big.
You get to move the joystick and the little polygon moves around the item and maybe a dragon statue.
Yeah, right.
Go meditate with the big chocobo.
That's Skyrim.
Oh, I just started playing Skyrim.
Hell yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
You're finally awake.
Have you ever played it before?
No.
Really? Oh my gosh. It is probably the game I've put the most time into, so
Yeah.
see, I'm
it's
excited to see what you think about it.
Where are you playing it on the
on
hundreds of consoles that's now available on?
Steam.
Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's a
think
thing.
about that a lot now. It's becoming that way for Grand Theft Auto 5, where it's just like,
Yeah.
like they keep porting it to every system. I feel like I would had just gotten out of high school or something when it was just coming out, and I was
Oh my
like,
gosh. I'm so old.
it's been so long. It's like my
No.
grandfather played Grand Theft Auto 5, and we still play it.
What? When did that
Yay.
come out again? Oh gosh, I don't even know.
That was 2011.
2009.
No, it was
Oh.
2000. The same
11.
year as
Okay.
Dark Souls. Good
Well,
year
look,
for video
FF
games.
Oh,
FF4 came out 6 days ago.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Not to
So-
date
We
the
were all
pod,
in middle
but-
school.
Uh,
Yeah, no, this was fun. Thanks for having me again.
yeah, anytime.
Cool.
I'm excited to post our picture of all of our Warwicks together.
Yo, hell yeah.
Nice.
3 Warwick party.
Soon to be 4.
Our war mechs.
All of our war mechs.
Have you been working on anything musically lately?
My band put out a song on DoD last month. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
It was a Go KK Rider cover.
Oh hell
So-
yeah! I reference that one a lot every time I'm telling Curtis yo, we should cover this for something.
Dude,
Yeah.
I want to
KK
hear
Rider.
a ska version of it. I want to be part of a ska version of it someday.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Really go lean harder into the horns thing. Excuse me.
Music needs to be more horny. Saying it right now.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. But yeah, just kind of doing new arrangements here and there, and I don't know, playing games.
Playing games as
Playing
we always
games be
have.
all right sometimes, indeed. Do you stream?
I've done it once or twice. I don't know how to really. Yeah, I don't really know how to start with that. So
Whenever you're ready to start streaming, the way you can start is tell us, and then we'll say on podcast, "Hey, go follow Darmock streaming."
oh well, okay. I mean, I did it once with a Sonic 1, and I was trying to show off some tricks in Spring Yard Zone, but I was doing really bad at it.
Well,
I
let's
was
say
like,
that somebody
"Come on."
wanted to maybe in the future see some Spring Yard Zone tricks. What would they follow
Gosh.
on Twitch? What is your name on Twitch?
Twitch.tv. This is really annoying. Twitch.tv/Darmock, but that's with a 0 in it.
Pronounced with a 0.
Pronounced with a 0. DARM0CK. Yeah, this
All
is
right.
why I don't really stream much, probably.
I just gave you a follow.
Oh,
There you go.
thanks. Oh, now I
That's
have
how you
10
get ahead of the
followers, I
game,
guess.
listener.
Hey.
Get on this ground floor.
Well, I guess, Alex, would you like to return to the above world to code our podcast in Mithril?
Yes. Thank you to Night of the Round for the theme music, as always. Shows are happening, and it was really nice seeing you all last weekend.
Hell yeah.
In person.
Yeah.
Seeing music happen. Thank you all who maybe have came to the Mage-Chan show.
Yeah, the Mage-Chan show happened. It was really good.
It was
Shout out
awesome.
to Amart, who drove Amart and
Yeah.
A-Wife, I think is what Ash calls
A-Wife.
Yeah. Drove 6 hours from Erie to be there. That was super cool. It was super great to meet them both. They were wonderful.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I thought coming from Baltimore was like a hike, but man,
That's still also a hike.
Oh, yeah, I
as
drove
well.
from Baltimore. Thank you so much.
I didn't drive. I
It's so
took a
weird seeing so many people.
train.
The people from Detroit were there.
Yeah, Ann Arbor, Alex. God, it's just right outside of Detroit. Okay.
I think Ann Arbor is where Andrew WK is from. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, interesting.
No thank you to Nobu Uematsu, Junya Nakano, and Kenichiro Fukui, who did not show up,
Yeah,
Where were they?
but did supply the music for this.
They call themselves music fans too.
You lie.
Leave us a review on iTunes. iTunes?
iTunes.
Leave us a review on iTunes. Subscribe wherever you listen to us. Rate us 5 stars, all that jazz. Leave us a message or text us at 530-MATERIA. Tell us what you coat your car in to absorb heat. Find us at every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, and join our Discord. And guys, I've been doing this podcasting thing a long time, and I think it's about time I changed my name to Potting Way. So,
Pisces.
Pisces.
Bye.
Rainbow Potting.